Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about parts of the medulla oblongata, and you probably already know at this point that the medulla oblongata is an important part of the brainstem that will serve as the transition between a point of transition between the spinal cord and the higher brain structures, and it has important roles here in regulating essential functions such as breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, and the medulla can be divided into two main regions based on its anatomical structure. So we have the closed medulla here, and this is the lower half of the medulla oblongata, usually called closed medulla. And this region contains the central canal, as you can see here. Here is the central canal. Let me just use this color, maybe. Yeah. Oops. It wasn't a good idea, to be honest. Yeah, this brow part here is part of the central canal, and as you notice, is a narrow cavity that will run through the center of the medulla oblongata. And I already showed you other illustrations where I represented the central canal, so I think that is more than clear for you. The central canal it will be continuous to the spinal cord, and above serves as part of the ventricular system of the brain. Now the open medulla, which is this part here, okay, I could probably represent this in a different way. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like this. So this upper half of the medulla is called the open medulla, and unlike the closed medulla, this open here does not have a central canal, and instead this region forms part of the floor of the fourth ventricle, which is represented here with the number 4th. Okay, and the fourth ventricle is a cavity filled with fluid and is located behind the pons and the open medulla, and connects it will connect to other ventricles in the brain. I'm gonna leave this topic to talk in another video because it's quite interesting, to be honest, and I think that this serves a video just for this part of the ventricles and the circulation of the cerebrospinal fluid. Now we have the midbrain here, which is located superior to the medulla and is part of the brainstem, but is not directly within the medulla itself. And it plays an important role in motor control, sensory processing, and visual reflexes. The pons, which is this part here, is situated above the medulla, okay? Above the medulla. We have the medulla here, midbrain here, pons here. So the pons will connect the medulla to the midbrain, and here is not possible to have a clear vision, but it has important nucleus for cranial nerves, like the 7th and the 8th, and it will help with the regulation of the breathing or respiration. Now olive or inferior olivary nucleus is a prominent oval-shaped structure found in the open medulla, and it is part of the cerebellar pathway, and it will play an important role in motor coordination balance by relaying information from the spinal cord and brainstem to the cerebellum. Now we have here, as I mentioned before, the central canal, and this is a topic that is probably saturated now with a lot of videos that I already made here to this channel, but yeah, let me just explain something about the central canal. Like before, runs through the closed medulla, and this canal is lined with the ependymal cells and contains cerebrospinal fluid, and this will help to protect and nourish the surrounding neural tissue. But again, maybe a video specific about the central canal will be interesting. What do you think? Leave in the comments below. Now, What else? We have here the cerebellum. Okay, the cerebellum is not part of the medulla itself and is closely related to functionally and anatomically with the cerebellum, with the medulla. And the cerebellum will receive input from the olive via the inferior liver nucleus, and it will help coordinating voluntary movements, posture, and balance. And here we have the fourth ventricle. And the fourth ventricle is, as I mentioned before, is a cavity filled with fluid, and it will communicate with the third ventricle above and the central canal below. And the cerebrospinal fluids flow through the fourth ventricle and exits the brain via the foramina of Luschka and Magendie. But I'm gonna leave a video just to talk about the foramina of this area here. Damage to the closed medulla, injuries in this area, or lesions affecting the closed medulla caused by stroke, trauma, or compression will disrupt the central canal, and it will lead to issues with the cerebrospinal fluid flow, potentially causing hydrocephalus or other neurological deficits. The open medulla, let's say pathologies affecting the open medulla or even the fourth ventricle, like tumors, infections, or hemorrhages, can compress nearby structures like the pons or cerebellum, and it will lead to life-threatening conditions such as obstructive hydrocephalus or brainstem dysfunction. And then we have the olive and the motor coordination disorders that usually affect the olive. Can impair motor coordination and balance, and quite often manifesting as ataxia, uncoordinated movement. So guys, this is pretty much the topic of the day about parts of the medulla oblongata. I hope you enjoyed the topic, and I will see you next time. So don't forget to share, subscribe, or even leave a comment below. Cheers.